YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. Let's see if we get anyone up this late at night.
Yeah, we were live over on Instagram and we thought, you know what, why don't we show YouTube some love and why don't we come over? So we were doing a real estate chat, we were having questions, so that's what we plan on doing here, some Q&A. We just did a podcast webinar, not sure what you want to call it, a live tonight with the Right Club. We were on the panel, we were the multifamily section because that's what we do, we buy multifamily buildings. So we decided to come on live after and kind of do some Q&A and just chat with people just to see, you know, what type of real estate are you investing in? What is your bread and butter, and why, whoops, our camera's a little unstable there. And why do you like what were you doing? Are you a wholesaler?
All you see is two big German shepherds in between.
Are they sleeping?
Here.
Yeah.
There, jeez.
Don't worry, they're alive.
Yes.
But yeah, so we figured we'd come on YouTube and have a little bit of chat about real estate. Oh, no, you gotta move in more. There we go.
There.
I wonder
Yeah,
what's
so if you have any questions about anything, what we do, about real estate investing, about other people's money, one of our favorite topics, about how we solely buy properties, no joint venture partners. I had new action takers today join our Action Family Mentoring Program, and that's exactly what they said. They said, we want to learn how to buy properties without joint venture partners because I've always heard that it was impossible to do that. And the truth is, no, it's not impossible. That's what we do. We have people across North America doing it all the time. And it's just using a variety of strategies with investing, right? It's using things like owner financing, seller financing. You can use somebody's 401k if you're in the States, or RSPs if you're in Canada, to help fund a deal. So there's so many different ways that you can do it, and that enables you to really grow.
Yeah, and one thing I want to ask, so if you're out there and you're doing joint ventures, why, and I'm curious, and I'm thinking, why is it that you would do a joint venture as opposed to trying to buy it on your own? And I know people are going to say, Dave, because I can't do it on my own. And I'm going to say, yes, you can. But I just want to see, what do people think? What do people think the pros and cons are of doing joint ventures? What do people think? I know what the pros and cons are of doing it solely owned, but I just want to see, because I like to see the roadblocks that people have when people come to us and say, I want to buy a lot of real estate, but I know the only way I can do it is if I partner up with other people or do partnerships or, that type of thing. So I just want to see what people are thinking, and if people are doing joint ventures or if they're solely owning. Is anyone here doing creative financing? And if you are, what type of creative financing? And Mel and I can attest that we do a lot of creative financing.
Yes.
We only buy buildings using none of our own money. Christine, I really want to learn as well. Oh, how did it go away?
Dave, you got distracted right away. You're right in the middle of your sentence. All messages are visible.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, now we can.
Okay, I really want to learn.
What's that word?
Newbies.
Rookies, that's a whole different show.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole different show. It's not late enough for that show. So one of the questions, I think you have to.
I don't know why it keeps disappearing.
Tap on the question when it comes up, Mel.
Bear with us as we figure out how to use this whole. Okay, maybe just one at a time. Does anybody know YouTube better than we do?
The questions keep disappearing.
It keeps disappearing, but.
Okay, so
anyhow,
click on that, Mel, and I'll.
You keep talking.
No, click on that, Mel. I want to see what the question is.
Let's see.
But I really want to purchase my own home first, but I'm in a university student now, and I don't know how to do it. Yes, and honestly, I think it was Christine. People ask us that all the time, and they get stuck with. People, they get worried about their student debt and their school debt. So I don't know if that's the case with you, but you could definitely start in school. I wish I started in school. What I would do, Christine, is I would buy an income property sooner than later using creative financing. And then the awesome thing is have your tenants, which could be your friends, your roommates, students in your class, pay rent, and you could be paying, you could be living rent free. You could probably be cash flowing, and you could be actually paying off your student debt as as you're in school at the same time. Guys, you guys are awesome. I have ordered your book from Amazon. So excited! I'll have it Monday. Oh, cool.
Oh, awesome. Good.
Thanks, Kashik.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kashik,
It's
and Mel,
it's just a short book. So don't be surprised. It's a short.
It's 88
like
pages.
88 pages. This is a book we wish Dave did not want a big fat book because he's like, I would never have read this when I got started. And we used to have, when we originally wrote it, it was about 300 pages. And Dave's like, I would not read this because I just didn't have the mindset back then. We need to make it shorter. So essentially, that's exactly what it is. It's a short book to get you started. It's a book we wrote right after we were in our big highway crash. I don't know if you guys have heard our story or not. We used to be very, very secretive on how we bought all these properties using our own money, no joint venture partners, but essentially we were on a big highway crash. It was a rollover. We almost died, and it was a day that changed our lives for many, many reasons. And one of them is when I decided to quit my full-time job. And the only reason I was able to do that was because we had already built a portfolio. And that's when we decided that, oh my gosh, why are we not helping other people achieve financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom through real estate investing? Because it's doable, it's possible. There's certainly nothing special about Dave and I. We just took action and did it, right? So that's when we wrote the book. So that's the behind the scenes of the book creation. It took us to roll over across the highway and almost dying before we decided to help other people do this, because beforehand we were not telling a soul on how we were doing it.
And it's meant to really motivate you, get you going, get that kick you into high gear and start buying real estate. Start changing your way of thinking.
Yeah, so awesome. So thank you for ordering our book. Make sure to leave us a review afterwards as well. Hopefully a positive review, because we very much appreciate that as well.
Okay, so Giorgio, you guys are great. Been following for a long time. My question is, I don't have any money. How do I start? So in that, honestly, Giorgio, and what...
And I would say two things. So when somebody says to me, I don't have any money, do you mean no money? Like I have nothing, zero in my bank account, I'm paycheck, I don't have anything yet. So that's one thing that we need to discuss. And then the other thing is I don't have money for that 20% down. So number one, if you currently don't have any money at all, so living paycheck to paycheck, can't save, the reality is, even with our own strategy, and again, I'm just going to be bluntly honest because I want to set you up for success, you still need money as a backup. Although we don't put any of our own money into our own deals, you still need things like lawyer fees, deposits, non-payment of rent. What if you need a toilet change, you need to call over a plumber, anything like that, right? So you need to just have some backup. So if you're not there, again, just try to reduce as many expenses as you can. Don't buy the new phones. Don't do this. I used to shop at consignments. Like, it was a completely different lifestyle that we have today. Consignment stores. We would never have a new cell phone. Dave used to search on Kijiji to buy a cell phone.
But that's not long term.
But it was worth it, exactly.
It was worth it.
But we sacrificed to get where we were because we didn't have backup money, right? We needed to save. So we did that, try to really, really reduce our expenses. We sold at one point. I had a brand new vehicle, and that was before we decided to do this. Then we decided to sell it. We bought an old rusty van. So just reducing the expenses, trying to make as much money as you can, second job or whatever you need to do to get that extra cash flow in, maybe wholesaling, anything like that. And then once you have some money in as a backup, that's when you can expedite your growth by doing creative financing, because then you don't need that 20% down, which is a lot of money. Let's take a property, $500,000 for example. So you buy a property for $500K, and you want to buy, 10 of them over the next couple of years. Well, that's a whole lot of money. That's $100,000 that you have to raise for each one of them. If you want to buy 10 of them, that's $1 million. It's going to take most individuals decades to come up with that kind of money, right? Just by working their 9 to 5 with creative financing, because you're leveraging other people's money. You can buy a lot faster, and you don't have to worry about coming up with that own money. You're leveraging other people's money, and you're able to grow faster. So, and that's what I love about it, because we never put any of our own money into the deals. We use it as a backup, or maybe a little bit for renovations or that kind of thing. It really enables us to continue to grow.
Well, just think about it, right? If you have a certain amount of dollars in your bank account, it's limited, right? But what is unlimited is other people's money, because you can always find the next seller financing, the next owner financing, the next vendor take back, the next private lender, the next private investor. And if you're doing things right and you're showing them how you're going to pay them back, that can truly be an endless supply. And that's, again, how you can scale. So think of that and think of bigger picture. I am just getting started as well.
And so before you get to that, Dave, funny, eh? The second a comment...
That's because they're going to go away.
The second a comment comes up, you get distracted. He's been like this since I've met him. But I'm cutting you off now for a second, because I am going to ask, guys, if you're new to our channel, thank you so much for following us. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell to be notified, because we release a video every single
Thursday.
Every single
It's coming out tomorrow.
Thursday. Hopefully you're already following us. Maybe you got the notification, but if you've been following us on Instagram, followed us over here. Make sure to subscribe, give me maybe a thumbs up, and hit the bell to be notified. And Dave, now Dave, it can be your turn again. So pull out the question.
There, I'm just getting started as well from university and looking started with OPM, but don't really know how to structure these deals. Do you normally pay back investors? Yes. Okay.
In a year, 2 years. Yeah.
In a year to 2 years. Yes. So in all the owner finance deals, vendor take back, seller financing, we've never gone longer than 3 years. About 3 years. And that we've all had 5-year terms, 7-year terms. So it truly can be negotiated between you and the seller as to what's going to work for the both of you. Now, Cole, what you're going to be talking with the seller with is, hey, give me, enough time, and you want to have favorable terms for yourself and them. It has to be a win-win. Now, you're going to want to explain to them, saying, if you're charging me very, very high interest, if you're only giving me 6 months to pay you back, if you're making me jump through all these hoops that makes the deal not favorable, not cash flow, and that really makes it tight, you can say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're willing to do owner financing, but you're truly not setting me up for success. And if I don't succeed in this deal, we both know what's going to happen, right? So that's kind of like I wouldn't say your bargaining chip, but that's kind of the conversation you can have. Hey, give me an attractive interest rate. Give me enough time to do this. Give me, different terms that you're looking for. And then you're setting yourself up for success, and your success is their success. So when you're structuring it, Cole, excuse me, and everything's going to go through the lawyers and attorneys. And if you have a good real estate investor lawyer, they'll be able to say, you're setting yourself up here, or vice versa. But I would negotiate and just be frank with the seller, because if they're selling you a bad deal, they're also selling themselves a bad deal as right? When we join your mentorship program, would you mind me asking, share contacts of your professional team? Yeah, Kashik, we share everything. To be honest with you, we share our let's talk about our investor-focused lawyers, attorneys, accountants,
insurance company,
all that.
And that's the thing. It's we don't hold back any information. We give you everything. We give you your cash flow matrix that we've been able to buy 200 some units with, our due diligence list conditions, all of that. And what is so amazing about our the Action Family Mentoring Program, we don't hold back. We show you how to find these people as well. So not only we share any contacts we have, we also show you how to find these people. But all of a sudden, you are in an Action Family, and today we had our live session, and it was incredible. The number of people that said, I'm in this specific area, does anybody know a contractor, for example? And boom, one of our Action Family members said, yep, I'll introduce it. And then somebody else asked for a different area, saying, I'm looking for, I think it was a mortgage broker, and they, yep, I just finished doing a deal, here's a reference. And that's the power, is that you're not only learning from us, of course, and all that, your network is your net worth, because all of a sudden you are just expanding. We have a lot of connections, but everybody else in our Action Family also have connections, and that's how it becomes so beneficial as well.
Well, your reach, your spread, your network, just, let's say every person that you chat with, it just multiplies by X, right? So it's just kind of, anyway, yeah, it's powerful. Cole, thank you, subscribe, and have watched all your videos. Thanks for the content. Thanks, Cole.
Awesome, that's great.
Appreciate
and
it.
Thank you for following us. Thank you to all of you for subscribing and following us. We very much appreciate it.
Yeah, so I guess where are you guys located? I'm always curious. Are you guys in Canada? You're in the U.S.? I'd love to see if you guys don't mind telling us where you're from, and then are you investing? What are you investing in? What's your strategy? I'm always curious to see what people are doing, and I always like to see why are they doing that strategy. Why is it working for them? How does that benefit them? But
and I see another question here. Do you have Menti team in Vancouver? Because I can surround first deal. Would you guide us to make sure we aren't following right steps and doing it right, buying the refinance? Yeah, absolutely.
that's Kashik?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of people from BC. We have people, yeah, absolutely. So there's lots of people there. We have some contacts there as well.
Correct.
Absolutely.
The other thing too is we have contacts that are Canada-wide, contacts that are America-wide. So it doesn't matter if you're East Coast, West Coast, Central. We have contacts that can help you, right?
Yeah, yeah. And sorry, what was the other?
The question they were asking, how do I make sure that I can exit or repay?
Yes, and you're gonna know that right away by putting it in the cash flow matrix. It has a 4-way pillar on one side, so you know if you should even investigate that deal or not. And on the other side, it shows you whether or not you have an exit strategy, so how you can pay back the lender. And if you're not sure, absolutely, this is the Action Family. If you're not sure, we do ask that you put it inside the Facebook group so everybody can all learn together. That's why people are so successful in our program. But yeah, just post it in there and we'll review it and we can discuss it. We had a couple conversations about one gentleman last week about his exit strategy. He got 90% owner financing, amazing, but he wasn't sure about the exit strategy. So we talked about it and we were like,
there were some red flags.
There were some red flags. I'm like, I don't know if I would do it. This is what I would do. I would go back to Mr. Seller and I would say this and this, and this is how we've been able to, with our matrix, negotiate the price and still get the financing in the end. So absolutely, whatever questions you have, it's unlimited amount of questions.
And what I love about the cash flow analysis matrix that we have in the program is you're not even going to buy that deal if you don't know how you're going to pay it back. And to everyone that's listening, guys, if you don't know how you're going to pay someone back, because there's private lending, private investing, all that stuff. If you don't know how you're going to pay them back, do not touch that money. Don't borrow that money. Don't take it because I hear the dogs. I don't know if you guys hear them, but yeah, if you can't pay it back, don't touch that money, because that's what we've done. Is we've for lack of a better word, not investigated, but we have what's the word when you talk to people? Not investigated, but not. I can't think of it. We chatted. We've had conversations with other investors, from coast to coast, who had massive portfolios, who were using creative finance, and who did not succeed. And one of the major reasons that they did not succeed is that they were counting on things that they cannot control, could not control and cannot control, right? As opposed to with the matrix, and this is what I love about it, is it's factual numbers and it's banking on things that you're seeing in the market and what you're getting from as factual information from other professionals. So that's why I love it. It kind of, there's 4 pillars that don't allow you to buy a good deal or that show you why it's a good deal or why it's not a bad deal. The other thing too is when you're looking at real estate, guys, talk to your financial institutions and start asking them what exactly, because they underwrite deals, right? And I like to underwrite deals just like the banks and the institutions do. So if you're looking at deals, instead of just sending them deals and thinking, are you going to approve this? Does it make sense? Start having these conversations with them and say, what are you looking for? What is it that makes a good deal? And what is it that does, a bad deal, or what kiboshes the deal? And then when you ask them that, they're going to say, hey, I'm looking at it and it has to meet this ratio, or I'm looking at it and it has to be XYZ, whatever that institution is looking for, whatever their wants and needs, or even ask them, what type of deals does your institution have an appetite for? Because some institutions will have different appetites at different times. Maybe they'll say, you know what, we have enough commercial right now. The manager, the mortgage manager, whatever, wants us to diversify more into residential multifamily, which is 4 units and under. So the commercial stuff, 5 units and over, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna back off on that. So, and then why are you bringing them a 10plex? Because they just told you they're looking to go a little bit smaller on some different deals. So again, having those conversations with the financial institutions that you want to use or are going to use will help you as well. Now, if they say our appetite right now is, let's say, for residential multifamily, so 4 units and under, and you're thinking, well, I want to buy a 10plex. Well, maybe don't bring that 10plex to that institution, right? Because maybe the numbers are great in that, but their quota, their stakeholders or anything I've said, let's diversify more into that. So again, you don't want to also kind of beat your head against a wall and think, why is my deal not getting approved?
Awesome.
Yeah, and guys, if you have more questions, please don't hesitate to put them in. Christine.
How do I become a part of the mentorship program? So I just pinned the comment. That's what I was doing over there. I wasn't distracting. I was actually putting.
Are you on the computer?
I just logged in, and hopefully you guys can see it. Maybe give me a thumbs up if you can see my comment. I put in the link, and
can you see all the questions there now?
I can't see all the questions on here, which is bizarre. But I just put www.IamReadyToInvest.com. Let me know if you can see that. I just pinned it on my computer. So hopefully you guys can see that as well. Oh, I see one thumbs up that just came up. So hopefully you can see that. www.IamReadyToInvest.com. If you go to there, you'll be able to book a call with one of our mentorship specialists. They'll be able to tell you all about the program and the costs and what it all includes, and its lifetime access and all this amazing stuff. So book a call and they'll be able to tell you all about it.
Yeah, so in regards to creative financing, so I just want to kind of squash a couple while we're chatting about it. I want to squash a couple of myths. And if you've seen some of our YouTube videos, you'll kind of already know what I'm talking about. But some people think you need to have a whole whack of money to do creative financing. Some people also think that in order to do creative financing, that some of the buildings need to be completely paid off, which is true and untrue. But the owners don't necessarily have to have the buildings 100% paid off. And in order to do creative financing, you need to have partners and joint ventures and all that. So those are things that we used to hear when we were getting started out and heard about creative financing and thought it was, bad or illegal or,
Absolutely. We were, is this legal? Dave used to tell me I'm too pretty to go to jail all the time.
But those are things that people start saying it and you start to believe it, or it's only, loan sharks that'll do this for you. Right? It's that type of lending style. So 100% no, that's not the case. So,
and you know what? We were on the live with the Right Club earlier this evening. We're on a panel for those of you who weren't sure or didn't hear this earlier. And somebody said about creative financing. I thought that was kind of this is so true. So they said about creative financing, it almost used to be a negative. So
yes.
Anybody that goes to a B lender, for example, a credit union, this used to be negative. It used to be a faux pas, right? Anybody that goes there, they're in financial danger. Well, we both quit our full-time jobs, we have lots of properties, things are going awesome, and we go to be lenders because it allows us to continue to grow our portfolio. And it's having that shift and that mindset, because at first, you have to go over there, you can't qualify for a mortgage at a traditional bank. And it's so true. As soon as we realize that going there is actually, when doing it for the right reasons and all that kind of stuff, is actually a really good thing, because it enables us to continue to grow and shifting that mindset. But again, in order to shift the mindset, we had to stop listening to people who didn't understand it. People who weren't doing creative financing didn't understand that it was okay to go to a B lender, because yes, they'll always say, Melanie, you pay higher interest than I do. Yes, you are right. You win. I pay more interest. However, I'm also able to buy 12 properties in 12 months, or buy 200, own over 200 units, no joint venture partners, right? So it enables us to increase our portfolio. And even if I pay higher interest because we're buying the right kind of properties.
Yep.
Who cares? As long as your cash flow is there, as long as the numbers make sense, and most importantly, as long as you have your exit strategy, so you know how to pay back the lenders.
Yes, and we just had a question. I think it was James. James, I saw it briefly. James asked, I live in BC, which is British Columbia, Canada, and I find the prices are too high, something like that. Overwhelming properties here in BC, feels like we live in the wrong part of Canada to do this, or are we near the coast? And we're nowhere near the coast. Yeah, and honestly, James, I've looked at, because I look all the place. I look all over the States, I look all over Canada, with our methods of finding deals with creative financing. I have found deals in BC, in northern BC. I found deals with owner finance, where we could get creative financing and not have to use any of our own money. I found deals, how do I say this? It's like, it's not northern BC, but it's kind of eastern BC. I found different deals there. So, and we have mentees that are in British Columbia as well that are doing it.
And I would probably say this as well. Where are you looking? Are you only looking on realtor.ca? Because that's just a fraction of where you should be looking, right? Yes, absolutely, you want to look on realtor.ca, but it is much more than that. There's so many deals. There's so many people who own properties that are thinking about selling but haven't put it on the market for whatever reason yet. And if only you'd be the perfect person to contact them and give them a solution to, hey, Mr. Seller, you're worried about paying all these taxes if you sell your property, you're worried about having an agent. Hey, I have a solution for you. We're going to make this a win-win. And that's how we find all these deals, and our Action family members are doing it as well. So yes, don't let that location piece stop you. And yes, of
people
course,
doing it, Miami, Toronto,
and again,
different hot markets, right?
Yeah, and again, it kind of depends as well. It depends, what are you after? I have some people investing in really, really hot markets.
Sorry, I'm just gonna move this out of the way.
And their cash flow,
Sorry.
And their cash flow may not be as, I'm not sure what you're doing, Dave.
I just wanted to move that out of the way.
Oh.
There we go. Sorry, guys.
Their cash flow may not be as high. That's just a reality of a hot market versus secondary market, but they can have a really higher appreciation as well. So it just depends what you have. So honestly, don't let that be your barrier. If you're worried about that and you really, really want a secondary market as well, perhaps you do look at investing. I have a lot of mentees investing cross-provincial now with technology. Think about it. You guys are from across Canada, across the states, following us, giving us feedback, chatting with us. The power of the internet, and people are buying deals everywhere. And it's funny, when it comes to stocks, people buy stocks and they don't know really much about it in most cases. Some people go really into details, but I know when I was younger, I invested and it's like, I don't really know where my money is. I just trusted my financial planner to do his thing. But for real estate, we feel like, oh, we have to see it, we have to be there. Well, do you? Do you have to be there? And is it a comfort level, or do you just have to make sure you have the right team? Because finding the right team, finding the right investor-focused agent, insurance company, property management company, if you have the right team, and we show you all this, it can make a world of a difference.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
And I think Kashik asked a question about cross-provincial. Click on it. Cross-provincial. What is the challenge of out-of-province deals? Do we have any difficulty with rehab and renting? Is there anything that we could do? And that honestly is all going to be in the team that you build, right? There's sometimes I live, in our city. We purchased a fourplex, and it's almost as if I didn't even live in the city because I didn't even walk through the property. I had my team walk through, take videos. So even if you live in the actual city that the property is in, you can still do everything virtually. So that being said, as long as you have an awesome team in place, you have systems in place, you have check marks and all that.
Yeah.
Like, think about this. Let's go through this actually, sorry. So I looked at the numbers initially and did my cash flow analysis matrix and said, okay, I like this deal. I see that it's going to lift. It's going to lift in valuation, and I'm going to be able to have an exit strategy, pay the private lenders back, pay the private lenders, private investors back, and yeah. And then so I never actually, I still have not set foot, and it's in my city. Had our team walk through. I had the home inspector go through, give me the report. So I looked at the videos, looked at the report. It might as well have been all the way in British Columbia for me because it's the same difference. And then had the report, the deficiencies, looked into it. When we took possession, we fixed them, had the team rent out the unit. So again, even if it's in your own city, you still might not even go through it with a fine-tooth comb yourself, because having a team is so important, and having that team will allow you to scale. So that being said, that the trust and
and
doesn't have to
even
be
our property
you.
management company. So in our city here, we have our property management company, and we manage people's company from across Canada. They're coming to us, whether they're from BC or from Quebec or from Alberta, because again, it's just that trust factor. And once you find somebody that you do know, like, and trust, and they have that strong background and they're investor focused, which is really important, I feel, for a property management company. Because they understand real estate and they understand what you're chasing, essentially, right? The lift or the appreciation and all that. It can absolutely be worthwhile. So a long story around that question, but don't let location.
Don't let it be a barrier.
And you know what? We used to have a webinar on this a while back, and it was, I think it's part of the, is it part of the book? Yeah, as well. I'm trying to think if location is, but it's lies that we tell ourselves, and our excuses are lies that we tell ourselves. And it's true, because whatever it is, we tend to do that. Whatever uncomfortability that we get, we don't like to get uncomfortable, so we use it as an excuse. Well, I live in a hot market, therefore I'm not going to invest. I have 3 kids. I was guilty of this one. I have 3 kids. I work full time. I don't have time. Things are busy, activities, all this stuff. I'm gonna wait till they're older to get this started. There's always excuses, and they are lies that we tell ourselves because we are scared. At the end of the day, it ends up being fear. It's fear driven, and that's why the majority of people don't achieve their goals, is because of fear. Fear is a very bad thing that actually stops people from achieving what they want to achieve. So if you feel uncomfortable, know that it's 100% normal. We've been there every time. Every time we get to that next level in our career and in our real estate portfolio, of course we have fear. I had fear when I bought my first duplex. I had fear when I bought my first 6-plex and 17-plex and 50-plex and quit my job. And it always came with fear, but it also came with a lot of success and great opportunities as well.
Yes, and Kashik asked another question.
Nice. Does your property management company manage other people's property for a charge to in your area? Yeah, so we exactly. So we're a property management company, so we manage our own properties. So it's Dupuis Properties if you want to Google it. Our last name.
It's on my coffee mug.
There you go.
Dupuis Properties.
Dupuis Properties. But yeah, we manage our own properties. So we have our own internal team that manages our own property, and then we also manage other people's properties as well across Canada as well, and then we just charge a monthly fee, and we charge for finding a tenant type of thing, so to going through that process. So that's how that works, and that's how that works for all companies. Usually the fee might vary from one company to the other, and I will say this, cheaper does not necessarily mean cheaper.
Better.
So better and long term, and I mean cheaper does not mean cheaper. It may look like it in the short run.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Cheaper.
Playing on words there, yes.
Look at that. Being creative tonight. Cheaper may not be cheaper, because let's say one company, let's use easy numbers here. 5% one company, 10% the other company. You'll go, oh my gosh, why would I ever pay 10 if I can go at 5? But what if the 5% is not doing their due diligence? What if the 5% is putting in any tenant in there, not doing their screening properly? How much is that going to cost you? That can easily cost you tens of thousands of dollars by having one bad tenant in a property, depending where you invest.
Yeah, and think of that, okay? And think of the cost of one of those mistakes, right? Because let's say the 5% company doesn't have let's say the workforce or the amount of softwares and all that the 10% company has. So the 5% company puts someone in your building, in your asset, in your income property that is going to demolish it, that is not going to pay rent. Well, how much money is that going to cost you in the end, right? So that's the kind of bigger picture that you're looking for. Oh, where's the order there, Mel? I'll let you do it.
Sorry, it disappeared here. It's the lives we tell ourselves in Mentorship library of videos. There's so many videos, Angela. We didn't title it that specifically, but essentially
It is a chapter in our book.
But it's a chapter in our book. But it is topics that we can discuss, right? And that we do discuss and have discussed in our live sessions. We go live with the Action Family every single week and talking about excuses we make. Some people talk about challenges what do we do as parents to continue to do this? What do we do for this and all that kind of stuff? But absolutely, I mean, excuses are certainly something that can stop you. But no, we have a whole section on goal settings to get that mindset right. So before you even start the program, we have a whole, before you get into real estate investing, we have a whole section on goal settings and all that. We share what we've done, our vision boards and all that kind of stuff to get you started. Excellent. Thank you. You're welcome.
Can you stop that one, Mel? I just want to see if it'll make the...
Stop this one?
Yes. Sorry, one more question. Does your PM company help in marketing to find tenants too, in addition to managing? 100%, and that's what property management is kind of all about. It's not just...
no sorry for asking questions. That's what the sessions...
If we didn't want to answer questions, we'd say, hey,
say,
bye, guys.
bye, which we might do soon because it is getting late for us here. It's past our bedtime, but we'll take a couple more questions. But sorry, what was the...
It was, does the property management company take care of marketing the units for rental purposes? 100%.
Yes, we are huge on marketing. That's my personal background. I took 7 years behind the scenes. Again, that's what I used to do in my old days, was marketing. That's what I took in college and university. But absolutely, the more, and think of, again, it's like finding deals. So I always say you want to find lots of deals, like lots and lots of deals. Same goes with tenants. If you're showing it to one person, but you didn't have a pool of people from picking beforehand, again, you might find one good one or you may not. So it's not necessarily the quantity of viewings that you have, but it's the quantity of exposure that you have, and having the right screening system and having the right people asking the right kind of questions and doing their due diligence and all of that. So absolutely, marketing piece, that's all included. People that are part of our property management or that uses our property management services, they don't do anything. I mean, we do it all. And when I say we, I mean our team members, and do it for us, with us. So they post the property, they find the tenant, they do due diligence, fire inspections, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're in charge.
And the one part I like about some of the software that we utilize for our property management company is, I forget if it's 15 or 17, but let's say we list a unit. This goes out to 15 or 17 different sources of, I guess, wherever they market rental properties, rental apartments. It goes out to 15 or 17 different sources. I don't even know some of the sources. Sometimes we'll get emails saying, so-and-so booked a viewing for your place from such and such a site or from such and such agency. And I'm thinking, what sites are we on, right?
Dave is so out of the loop. Actually, I kind of am as well, because we have director taking
But that's
care
what I
of it.
mean. It's not just Facebook. It's not just the Craigslist. It's not just Kijiji. It's not just Realtor.ca. It's 17 different places that people will find your property, will find your apartment. And like Mel said, the bigger pool allows you to get the bigger pool of tenants, which allows you to pick the better tenant.
And Christine, you can't see my pinned message, so that's too bad from earlier. So I'll tell you to now if you want to view that. And if you're having a hard time, just send me a message afterwards, or if somebody else could write it down. But it's www.imreadytoinvest.com. And so I'll say one more time, www.imreadytoinvest.com. You got to make sure to put the W if you want to go there, if somebody wants to write it, because apparently my comment didn't pin, unfortunately. I might try one more place actually, and you'll be able to book a call that way with us.
Awesome.
I'll let you do that. I'm going to try this here and see if that works. And we're live on Facebook now as well. So hello to Facebook. We kind of went from one platform to the next, but we'll stay with you guys on YouTube as well.
Yeah, sorry, one more question. We have to keep checking ourselves. Angela, okay. It's good, makes sense. Gems, awesome, Christine. Bianca, hello. Christine, I can't see the pin. Huge thank you for all the information. Looking forward to reading your book. That's awesome. James, we've seen some great deals. Well, at least to us, they seem great out east New Brunswick and such, we feel the distance is an issue. Is it really? True. Is it really, right? Christine, can you please repeat the mentorship information? I can't see the pinned message. Thanks, guys, and good night. Say hi to Northern Ontario for me. Will do, James. Say hi to BC for us.
Yes. Let's take a couple of questions. Is there any comments on that?
And then Facebook, I know we just logged in. We've been about 40 minutes on YouTube, and we're about 20 minutes before on Instagram. Our computer did a reboot, so I apologize. This isn't our usual computer. Okay, late night party. Hey, Alba. Yeah, late night party.
Alba's part of the Action Family.
And so is Coley.
Yes.
So if you have found a deal and want to put in an offer, but haven't set up other people's money, OPM yet, right, or done one of those, would you see that as an issue or run into any problems? And honestly, Coley, like we kind of always say, you always want to have a bunch of different, juggling a bunch of different balls. You always want to have deals going on. You always want to have financing going on, because you never want to be without one or the other. Now, if you are without one or the other, and Coley, I want you to ask this also in the Action Family, because I'll go more into detail. And Coley's my teacher. It's Nicole. Hey, Nicole.
Oh.
But yeah, if you ask it in the Action Family, I'll be able to go more into detail. But yeah, 100%, you always want to have lots of deals going on, lots of financing, lots of investors. Because different things will happen. You thought you had a deal going on, and it doesn't work out. Well, now you don't want to have had all your eggs in that basket, right? Same thing with investors. Same thing with financing.
Great.
Awesome.
Let's see. I think we're all caught up on YouTube here as well.
Done. He said.
Done.
James said hi to British Columbia. Thank you.
There you go. Awesome. Done. Good stuff.
Wapia, hi. Hey guys. Wow. So yeah, we did before going. So we did 40 minutes on YouTube. Now we're 5 minutes on Facebook. Not long.
Yeah, we haven't been very long on Facebook. We're having a hard time connecting.
Yeah,
but we thought we'd say, come say hi. If you have a quick question, please ask us. Otherwise, I think it's almost bedtime for us. But yeah, it was a great night.
Great night, guys.
Great club, answering questions, and then we have a new YouTube video coming out tomorrow as well about naysayers. Haters, people that slow
Wait till you
down.
see my thumbnail. I look very, very mad and aggressive.
Yes, it's a little aggressive.
So that's not really me, but when you see the thumbnail, you're like, holy smokes, Dave looks almost cuckoo in it. So anyway, wait till you see the thumbnail.
I'm more innocent.
Yeah.
But Dave's a little bit more. We had fun. I was laughing so hard. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Those faces, jeez.
Well, in our videographer kept saying, hey, be angry at something. Anyway, wait till you see it. It looks very, very aggressive. Jules, congratulations on your continuing successes in real estate.
Aww.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's very nice.
Appreciate it.
Look at that. That's fantastic. We appreciate that. And thank you so much, everyone on YouTube. Again, we appreciate it. Make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell to be notified, so that way you continue to be notified when we go live on YouTube. Facebook, do the same. Go check us out on YouTube. We have a brand new YouTube channel. Hit the bell to be notified. Subscribe, because we release new content. We were live with them for almost 45 minutes now, so that's fantastic. So thank you, everyone. I think it's bedtime for Dave and I. We've been on social media we started around 7 o'clock with the Right Club, and then Instagram, and then YouTube, and now Facebook. So we're going to call it a night. Thank you so much for following us, and we very much appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome.
Bye for now.
Bye, guys. Bye.